Pure and simple, the only way that tyrants will ever get rid of guns is by getting rid of the Second Amendment. It is the simplest and most practical argument against the gun grabbers. Well, Gavin Newsom has taken it to heart and is now basically proposing exactly that, a 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution to make gun control a national, permanent fixture in America. Keep watching for the details. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Breaking this morning, the fumes from all of Gavin Newsom's hair products have successfully entered his brain and made him come up with this proposal. A proposal that, even if ridiculous, will win over the hearts of lefties all over the country. With more than 350 million firearms in the US, it would be impossible to round them all up without an entire army and a few casualties. And with the number of gun owners steadily rising and gun sales through the roof month after month, the time has never been better to turn your love of guns into a job in the firearms industry. Sonoran Desert Institute offers online firearms technology education with hands-on labs and materials shipped right to your door. Course topics range from AR-15 or 1911 armorer options to shooting sports management, ballistics, gunsmithing, and more. Get your education and turn your passion for firearms into a successful career by visiting sdi.edu/liberty-doll today. Today, Thursday morning, Newsom released a 4-point proposal for a 28th Amendment claiming that every bullet point has bipartisan support, and demonstrating that support with a very suspicious Fox News poll. So thank you, FUDs. I'm proposing the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to help end our nation's gun violence crisis. The American people are sick of Congress's inaction. The 28th will enshrine 4 widely supported gun safety freedoms while leaving the Second Amendment intact.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
1. Raising the minimum age to purchase a gun to 21. 2. Universal background checks. 3. A reasonable waiting period for gun purchases, which in California is 10 days. And 4. Banning the civilian purchase of assault weapons. I'm not sure what exactly a gun safety freedom is other than oxymoronic gobbledygook, because his proposals have nothing to do with safety or freedom. He released his proposal along with a video that watches a lot like a campaign ad.
In this country, we do have the power to change things, to reclaim our freedom from fear. Our ability to make a more perfect union is literally written into the Constitution. So today, I'm proposing the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to do just that.
Claiming Fox News viewers support these measures, claiming the Founding Fathers never foresaw any updates in firearm technology ever, which is just patently false, and calling for a convention of states.
This fight won't be easy, and it certainly won't be fast. Convening a constitutional convention requires 2/3 of the states to call for this. California will be the first. But that's just the beginning. Join us by going to campaignfordemocracy.com and signing the petition. To protect our communities and protect our freedom, support the 28th.
So thank you, Gavin Newsom, for giving the left their first civics lesson in decades. He says that this proposal would allow states and more localities, which is important, control in passing gun control. No doubt a jab at Bruin and other recent court decisions in favor of Second Amendment rights. A new amendment can be passed by a 2/3 vote in Congress or a convention of states. With Republicans in control of the House and a 51-49 Democratic majority in the Senate, there is literally no chance of this making it through Congress for ratification. So the other option is for 2/3 of the states to pass a resolution for a convention. Then 3/4 of the states would have to ratify the amendment for it to get added to the Constitution. So 33 states would have to call the convention, and then 38 would have to ratify this amendment for it to pass. Seeing as half the country is permitless or constitutional carry, 17 states have declared themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries, and more than 60% of the counties in the country have done the same. I don't see it happening at convention either, unless the deep state powers that be find some way to fortify that vote too. That being said, the reality is that here we have a potential presidential candidate calling for a constitutional limitation on gun rights. Up until now, the left has been happy introducing laws that, while getting bigger and bolder, haven't been able to pass the smell test in anything but the biggest Democratic strongholds. Now, Newsom is coming out and admitting that this has been the plan all along, eliminating the Second Amendment, and that he and his cronies are ready to do the legwork to try and make that happen. Yes, it's unlikely to pass, but it is still dangerous, because I think that the worst part about this is that now leftists countrywide will adopt this into their arguments. That we need a convention of state, that we need to ratify the Constitution, and will end up creating loud pockets of grassroots activists that will drive the conversation. Because we have to admit, the left is really, really good at seizing the means of conversation and spreading their propaganda. You don't have to look any further than 2020 or the fact that mutilating children is suddenly seen as the ultimate badge of virtue among huge sections of the population. The media, the current administration, and pop culture has half the country believing that experimental, money-grabbing, and life-alternating treatments previously only used on is not only stunning and brave, but the ultimate commitment to our children. If they can do that, they can probably eventually convince enough people to sign his little petition to get legislators to call a convention. And if they fail, they get to blame Republicans and the gun lobby, TM, and whip up their base even further. It is a win-win situation for Newsom. He succeeds or becomes the poster boy for bravely trying to do something. All while blasting Republican favorites like Ron DeSantis and Abbott. If the current coverage that is out mere hours after this announcement is any indication, we are in for an ugly argument. The media is already fawning over him, calling this proposal historic. He's already gone on the Today Show to drum up support and done exclusive interviews with Politico. Outlets from Politico to NBC to even People magazine are talking about it and practically drooling over him. California legislators are already working on the resolution, calling him a man of action. You know that Giffords in every town will be on board and will be perfectly poised to dump as much money as possible into this effort, and I'd be willing to bet a presidential run in either 2024 or 2028. It's a bold strategy. Politico makes a very valid point when it says Newsom, who seated his political committee with $10 million and has spent time on the national stage trolling Republican governors Ron DeSantis of Florida and Greg Abbott of Texas, has for years crusaded against the gun industry and reaped the political benefits in a state where voters broadly support strong curbs on firearms. The operative words there being reaped the political benefits. So hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen, because this next fight could very well be the biggest yet. That is it for this little bit of breaking news. Please like, subscribe if you're new here, drop a comment down below, and share this to all of your gun-loving friends because, let's face it, internet culture is really the only culture that the right has any handle on at this point, and we need to get it out there. The battle is coming. And as always, thank you for tuning in, keeping this channel alive, and happy shooting.